Hi, this is Zach Fahrenberg, and this is part two of the explaining idea in the IEP process. First off, I'm going to start us off with the IEP referral part. So the IEP referral, this can be done by you as the parent, me as the general education teacher, if I was in the general education teaching role, or other people at the school. It doesn't have to be done by people at the school. That's like a big misconception. It can be done as you, from you as the parent. If you're seeing something that you think is causing your child to struggle at home or at school with their academics or other things, you can totally refer your child for evaluation from us at school, and that'll send them down the path of doing the IEP, like the evaluation process. So one thing too that a lot of parents really don't know about is that we see you guys as equal members of the IEP team. Um, so you have the right to participate in all of the IEP meetings, and you're actually a huge input in these IEP meetings because you do know this child and your child better than we do. Um, Also, when your child gets into that high school level age, we kind of want them to start um, taking the reins on this thing and being the leader, and then we want you to fall into that like coach position to help them along the process. So next we're going to look at the evaluation process itself. So this happens after someone refers the student to the special education process. So with the evaluation, it's going to be an assessment that measures different areas. Some of these areas are cognitive, academic, language skills, social, emotional, and medical even. So during the evaluation, it's going to be a series of tests to determine whether your student does qualify. You need to remember that throughout these tests, whether we do recommend your student for special education services or not, you have to agree with the outcome. So there are a couple different outcomes for this. Either we find that your student needs special education services and you agree, and then we start on that path of getting the IEP meeting set up. The next is that like the team finds out that your student does not qualify for special education services and you agree, and that's kind of when we start looking at other ways to get your student help without being in that special education service. And if we disagree, or if you disagree with the IEP team and what they find out during this process, there are different things that you can do to challenge that finding. You can request an independent education evaluation that's done at the district's expense. And you can also request additional testing to be performed on your student. And if something is found out different than our thing, then we will take that into consideration. So next I'm going to talk about the eligibility for special education. So there is a criteria to receive special education services. However, us as the IEP team, we have the flexibility to determine whether your student qualifies for services. Uh, there is technically like a criteria that states that you need to have one of the 13 disabilities as defined by IDEA. Um, the IDEA disabilities are linked on part 1 of my brochure, and you could totally check those out to see if you fall under that. All right, and then the last thing I want to talk about is what is in the IEP and what's found in there. The IEP is a document that may seem pretty large to look at first, but there are things on there that have to be on each IEP. So within an IEP, there are items that state the children or your child's present level, a statement of measurable annual goals, a description of how the child's progress towards goals will be measured, a statement of supplementary aids and services to be provided, an explanation of activities that the child will not participate with non-disabled children, a statement of program modifications that will enable the child to advance towards attaining the annual goals in the general student population. If I did go through that quick, I actually just read it straight from the brochure that I did for part one of this. So as a parent, I'm going to give you this brochure, and you can always have this with you so that you can check it out. A lot of the information that I did cover in this video is also found in that brochure. So if you have any questions about this video or the brochure, please feel free to contact me. My contact information is at the bottom of the brochure, and I'm available at any time.